everybody. Welcome to the LA podcast. Mate, I think we probably start with transfers. What do you think?
I think that's the big topic, isn't it, at the moment? First off,
All right.
bye-bye, Curtis. Good luck, lad. Even
Yeah,
if
good
you
luck
were
to him.
frustrating.
Yeah, didn't move the needle for me ever, but thanks for your service and good luck in it. I think his game will suit Italy, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he'd be better off there.
Yeah,
That's probably why
yeah.
he chose it.
Yeah, there's already been a downturn in ticket sales, season ticket sales in Inter Milan. So he's had an effect already. All right,
Yeah, I
mate.
doubt if he's had the most Salah effect. Oh, fuck, Coventry are
No,
2-0 down
yeah, he's probably
already.
not had the most Salah effect. Well,
Yeah, no.
who's 2-0 down?
Arsenal 2-0 up against Coventry.
Oh yeah, they kicked
Yeah.
off today. Oh well, don't worry about it, mate. All right, let's start with transfers or lack of them. Listen, I'm incredulous at the current situation.
I thought you liked
Either
Minter.
no. Let me finish.
Oh,
Either Richard Hughes is an incredible poker player. He's playing a brilliant game of subterfuge, or we have the most inept and useless sporting director on the planet. Listen, I honestly want to believe this is a smokescreen for somebody else because although you're right, I like Minte. I think he'll do well under Areola, but I'm not. I just can't believe that we would buy a player who's had surgery and won't be ready till December. Probably won't be match fit till January, which is half the season gone. I just don't understand the logic. I don't get it. I know we buy a player for 3 or 5 years, not just for 6 months, but you can lose a season within 6 months. You can
yeah.
lose. I mean, I'm not expecting to win the Premier League, but I'm expecting to come top four. We can lose the top four within 6 months. We don't have a right winger.
Yeah, if we were in a stronger position, you buy someone for the future, that's fine. But when you're in a position where you haven't got players to start with, you need to be buying ready-made. I mean,
With
it should have been done 2 seasons ago if he was going to bring in Minty. Not now.
listen, all right. You're saying about season planning and future planning, etc. I
Mm.
get that. We've we've known for 5 months at the very least. The public has known. Inside Anfield, I don't know, maybe longer, but we've known that Salah was going to leave 5 months ago.
Mm.
How the hell has it got to 10 days before the transfer window shuts? We're allegedly going to put in a bid for a player who's crocked. I don't get. I'm not understanding the logic. Explain that to me.
Yeah, and we've not brought the only player we brought in who can potentially play there is Munoz.
I
The
don't
only
think that's
player
his
we
position.
And it's
I
not.
don't think.
No, it's not. But he can play there, and that's it. That's the only option we brought in. And the other option is, well, we'll stick our young left winger he's not really actually shone particularly anyway on the left wing, but we'll stick him on the right instead. That seems to have all we've come up. That's all they've come up with between them. It's shocking. Because I mean,
Rio is fabulous potential. That's
mm,
all. He's done nothing to suggest he's a first team player, a regular first team player. Yeah, he scored that goal against Newcastle, and he's had some great moments, but that's all. There's nothing to suggest that he can be a starting 11 player on the left, let alone on the right. He's absolutely abysmal on the right. It's it beggars belief. I'm incredulous. I cannot understand what's going on at the club. It can't be this dumb. It just cannot be this dumb. They're pulling the wool over our eyes, and they're going to come up in within 10 days. There's going to be 3 or 4 fabulous players that have been signed.
that's all you can hope for, isn't it? I mean, that there's something hidden that we don't know about. It just seems unlikely. It seems like the best you can hope for is Barkler and Mbai or Inte, and neither seem particularly outstanding as options. I mean, one's just a kid who's not much further as of Engamoa anyway. but right-sided, and then the other one's another youngster who's shown a real lack of end product. I don't know. It's just, they both need a lot of development work, whichever you say. And Barkler, for that matter. I mean, we've not signed anybody. You're losing Salah, who's ready-made, and you've not prepared for it at all. And I know people are going to say Isaac and the Ekatike were brought in to replace, but they weren't. They were brought in because we needed them to replace the players we lost up front. This is a separate issue. We need actual right-sided players, and we haven't brought in any.
Richard Hughes is, by all accounts, leaving in September, right? And he's on gardening leave, essentially. So he doesn't care. His legacy is tarnished anyway. No, when he leaves, everybody's going to say he was a bad sporting director. So no matter what he does, it doesn't matter to him. Edwards fucked off a long time ago, right? And Gordon, yes, he's a fabulous boardroom level, right? But he's not a football man.
No.
So it's just what I feel like is this, that we've got a blindfold on and we're just trying to throw muck at a wall and see what sticks. Yeah, and we're getting our pants pulled down everywhere. Like, and Bailly was going to Leverkusen for 35 million. How can we not get that deal done? I don't understand. If he was going to Leverkusen for 35 million and it's wages, salary, everything was already agreed, how can we not get that over the line? Unless they said, oh, because you're Liverpool, you've got to pay double. But that's Richard Hughes' job, to get that deal done as the same price as
you should be able to step in and say we'll match whatever they've offered. That's it. You don't know if they ask more than that, then you just say, nah,
you move on.
Yeah, you move on. That's it in a nutshell. Instead, we've just messed about.
But you don't move on to somebody who's injured till December. No, you move on to somebody that can play now. It's like, okay, I understand the Diomande debacle. I get that, because they were negotiating with Rock Nation, who are new, and they haven't got traditional kind of history. They've not dealt with people traditionally. There's not experience. Nobody's got much experience with them. So they were a new kid on the block. You don't know what they were getting. So they mess people around, and obviously they've been tarnished now. So you don't negotiate with them again. Don't do any business with them again. I get that you wasted money, but you should have a plan B and a plan C and a plan D. Go to your plan B if A didn't work. If you get waste time with them, go to your C and D. I just don't get it. There must be 4 players in world football that you can sign for the right. Diomande was your first choice. Okay, it didn't work out. And Baez, if it's your second choice, didn't work out. You don't go to an injured player for your third choice. Especially if you haven't got anybody to play on the right. Just Frimpong may be able to hold the fort until December. And we've
got to play right back, because we've got no fucking right back other than him. So he can't hold the fort until December, even if he could do.
Ramsey's gone to St Mirren, and obviously Ramsey's not up to standard. If they've he's shipped out to St Mirren, there's nobody there. I mean, Chiesa's not up to playing there.
He's never been a right winger anyway. He was a left winger. He never played well. Exactly, yeah. It was always like we were saying about Engamo not looking good on the right. He's the same. He's never looked right. He's never looked good on the right. He's never
looked good anywhere in a Liverpool shirt.
Yeah, but he's never had a chance, to be fair, to get a run of games to build up a level of fitness and form. So it's hard to judge him in a Liverpool shirt. But like I'm talking about before he joined us, at his best run of games were always on the left side. He was a left winger
for Italy and Juve. Yeah.
That was when he was at his best. When they moved him over to the right, he looked half the player. So it just makes no sense to play him on the right.
We're a laughing stock. It's like, okay, even if Richard Hughes, and listen, I'm not gonna comment on his give him his poor post-mortem prematurely. There's still 10 days left of the season. He could play a blinder, right? But we need at least three, if not four players, right? We need we need a right winger. We need a midfielder. I mean, what do you? I mean, let me get your thoughts on Jones leaving. Do you think Neoni can step up? I feel he can,
Yeah,
but
for what Jones offered, I mean, there was far too many games where I mean, did he ever really let us down? No, but did he ever really step up and take any game by the scruff of the neck? To be fair, actually, there was a few games where he let us down as well. I mean, that Chelsea game at the end of the season when we won the title, he was absolutely abysmal, never even broke sweat, never even tried. And there were a couple of games last season where he did the same, where he just seemed to throw his toys out of pram and not try. And for someone who's a supporter of the club, that is unforgivable. It is unforgivable. So
to be fair, mate,
you'd
lots of
expect
players.
better of Neoni. You'd
No,
expect
no.
him to at least be trying every game because he's got to make a name for himself.
To be fair, mate, loads of players let us
Mm.
down last season.
Oh yeah, but
But who
but
slot?
he's a Scouser who
Yeah,
supports the club. There's a different, that's a different thing. You can't not try when if you're a Scouse lad in the team. It's that simple. If you do, you're letting not just yourself down, not just the fans down, but your whole family down and that. They've got to live there and they're going to they're going to get stick from all their neighbours and their
I
family, their friends and
I don't think that
workmates.
I don't think Curtis Jones is going to have a bad rap or him in Liverpool. His legacy isn't. I don't think it's tarnished. I don't, like you said earlier. I don't think it's going to be. Yeah, he wasn't great, but he wasn't bad, and
Mm,
he. I think his game didn't suit the way we play. That's it. I mean, he's going to be. I think he flourished, and maybe flourish is a bit of a strong word under Klopp. Klopp trusted him for sure.
mm.
And once Klopp left, I mean, Slot, we won the season in his first year, so you can't abuse him for that. But the second season, Slot didn't use Naoni enough last season.
Mm.
I felt he could
He
have
had no
done.
management skill, no man management skills at all.
Yeah. But like coming back to my point, even if we sign three or four players, okay, how many do you think we need? Let me get your opinion on that.
We need a right winger and a right. Oh, we need a right back because even if we've got cover players who can cover there from the centre back like Gomez and Araujo. We've not got we've only got one specialist right back, and then potentially specialist right back in Frimpong, and then Bradley, who might never play, who might never be the same player again, and there was signs that he wasn't actually making progress anyway. So we need another right back and a right winger. Is the only things I'd say we desperately need. The others are like things that they're to finish off a team or squad, whatever way you want to put it.
The
But
finishing touches, yeah,
yeah, what we need,
cherry on the
those two,
cake.
the
Yeah.
right wing has to be, the right side has to be sorted out this summer. That should have been the whole priority. Everything else should have been put on hold till we sorted that out. Everything else. And obviously we needed the centre, but we got Araujo. And Jack A. I'm going to count Jack A as coming in as well. So that is, that should be enough for the right side, for the centre back position. But the right side, I mean, that is desperate.
It's beyond desperate, to be honest with you. It's gonna be the difference between drawing games and losing games. That's what it's gonna be. That right
Mm.
side is gonna get so targeted.
And
It's
winning and drawing as well.
winning and drawing. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
do you know
It's
what?
gonna.
I was just thinking of something though before we move, just quickly. Do you not think Jones shows the ineffectiveness of the youth setup that we've got? Because it producing players, but none of them are the right type of player for what we actually need. I mean, we have to change the players they've brought through. We have to change the setup to fit them in. We shoehorn them into places. I mean, Trent Alexander-Arnold, because he had a fantastic right foot, he ended up at right back, even though he was a midfielder coming through. He was a midfielder, never played right back until Klopp said, "You're going to have, we're desperate for one. Can you play there?" And he turned out to do a good job because Klopp had altered the whole setup to make it work for him to be able to attack more. Jones comes through. He's a left winger. He was a left winger, but he's never going to play left winger in the Premier League. the type of player he was. He lacked the pace, the power, the skill to wriggle past players, etc. You know what I mean? He just wasn't a left winger. So why was he being produced by the academy as a left winger? They should have been working on saying you're not going to play there when you get through. They should be looking at them and producing them in a role that they actually might stand a chance of, being when they become professionals. He was clearly going to have to play further back in midfield at best.
And he was a prolific goal scorer in the
Yeah.
academy as well, Curtis Jones. But I think you've hit the nail on the head when it comes to why is the academy regressing. I think a lot has to do with Klopp leaving, because he had a massive say and an overview. He had an overview of everything at Liverpool. Klopp didn't give a fuck.
No, he didn't even go along and watch them.
This Slot didn't care. I mean, Slot didn't have any, apart from the first team. He left it. I mean, you could say that's delegation. He's letting people whose job it was to oversee that do their job. But the thing is, he didn't have any kind of regard or care for it.
No,
and Klopp did.
But I think it was even before Klopp. I think it's the academy setup itself needs looking at, because it should be producing players to suit the first team, not to suit the play. You know what I mean? That the players should be produced with an eye on. We need wingers need to have pace and power in the Premier League. There's no point having them playing as wingers just because we're short of wingers in the youth setup. So we'll just stick him on the wing because he's skilled. You should be looking at what do they need to make it when they're getting through there, and that's how you develop them.
It should be synchronized and cohesive and emulating the first team. Yeah, I get that, but why isn't that happening?
Well, that's a sporting director's job, isn't it? Which is another part of Richard Hughes' failings. See,
who's off to Saudi in September?
Yeah, because he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit about the youth academy. He's never interested in him. He's interested in the big flashy. That's what I mean. He's just trying to make a name for himself rather than.
But I've got high hopes for this Portuguese coach we've got in the academy. I can't. Is it Paulo de Fentes or something? I can't remember what his name is. Is he the scout? He's the scout for the academy.
Yeah,
or he's got a bigger role than that. Yeah, he's doing some excellent work there. So let's hope that he keeps pulling gems out of nowhere. Yeah, going back to my point, we've got 10 days left, I think, to the end of the transfer window, right? That's 31st of August, 1st of September.
Isn't it? Every year it's different. They change.
Different, yeah. Even if we bring in, just say we pull a rabbit out of the hat and we bring in 3 players. Say we bring in 2-3 players. They're still going to need time to assimilate to a new country, possibly a new language, possibly a new culture, possibly. Definitely a different club, even if they're from England, right? They're all going to come to a new club, so they're going to have to assimilate to a new club, new culture. It's going to take time for them to bed in. This kind of stuff should have been done before. This succession planning should have happened a long way back. We should have got that right winger in place before. As soon as Salah said he's going, we should have had somebody lined up.
Well, we should have just. I mean, let's be honest. We should have just completed the Semenyo deal last summer. That was the thing. We had it all sorted. There's no reason not to.
Why didn't it happen?
I've no idea why it never went through in the end. He was all agreed, all happy to do it.
How much did he cost?
I can't remember how much they paid. 65
Google that for
or
a
80
second.
was it?
Oh, please tell me he wasn't 65. That's a steal.
I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look it
up. 65 million for Semenyo with 2 legs and 60 million for Minte with 1. And he's fantastic.
What was his 72 million euros transfer marks? That's about 60 million quid, yeah.
Oh my God. I want to cry.
I mean, it was the obvious one as well, and it would have been the perfect. We all thought at the time as well. Everyone thought it isn't like it was something everyone. Most people were happy with that. Thought that was the great replace. The great choice to replace Salah long term. Even before Salah, we knew Salah was going. It was we knew he'd be going soon because he only had another year on his contract anyway, and he was getting old. So we knew we needed to replace, same as we do with Virgil van Dijk. We still need to sign a replacement long term for him. Can't just keep pushing it off, putting it off, and putting it off like we have been.
Semenyo is such a 6. He's a 7 out of 10 player all the time.
Yeah,
he's always
gives it his all. That's the only thing I would say that like Minte does possess is that he's going to graft his heart out for you. He is a grafter. It's the one thing you can't complain about, isn't it?
I like the guy. I like the player. I just don't want us to buy somebody who's going to be injured for 4 months. Even if he gets back, I don't know. I think it's an unspecified leg surgery. I mean, it's unspecified. He's had surgery. Why would you take risk on somebody who's they could have complications post-surgery. He could lose half his speed. There's so many like Owen lost his speed after that hamstring injury at 16, 17. He was never the same player. So anything could happen. Why would you spunk £60 million on somebody? It just beggars belief. It's just, why are they getting rid of Richard Hughes? Is it because he's clearly inept? Because of stuff like, I mean, what was the reason?
Because he's useless at the job. He failed miserably. I mean, he spent all that money last summer and left us looking threadbare, ready. When you spend that amount of money, you should be able to build an entire squad. And instead, all he did was left us looking worse than before. I mean, the results, they're not just on Slot. They're also partly on him because he didn't give Slot the squad either. So,
what's happening with Barcola, mate? Do you know?
As far as I knew, he was all agreed. I don't know why it's taken so. And the only thing, I mean, the thing is, it could be something as simple as he's got a payoff from PSG that he wants, and they're not, and they're haggling over the difference in like he wants his full payoff because normally they have to pay up the full wage, the end of his contract is the usual thing. When a player moves, a lot they can, they pay off the contract.
Hang on. What?
When a player's got a contract, if he's got like 5 years left, they haggle the deal. You know what I mean? That's what they can ask to have their contract paid up.
One minute. So I'm playing for Liverpool, right?
Yeah, well, that's why you get a signing on fee from another club.
One minute. Let me just figure this out. So I'm playing for Liverpool. I've signed a 5-year contract, right? I've got 3 years left. Barcelona want to buy me. Liverpool got to pay 3 years of my contract off.
If they're forcing you out, yeah, because that's the technical. If you want to go, you ask to go. They don't have to pay it. That's one of the things. They don't have to pay you the 5% of the transfer fee, and they don't have to pay you your contract up because you've asked to go. But if you don't ask to go and you're the one, so you don't want to leave, you haven't put it in writing.
Even though Barcelona are offering me a 5-year contract.
Well, yeah, because you've still got a 3-year contract left with Liverpool. So technically,
wow,
you've still got. So what usually happens is you usually agree a signing on fee with the other club, the club you're moving to, is paying off the contract. Is them saying, right, this is your deal. That's what that was originally for.
I didn't know that. I just thought
that's how it was explained to me anyway. I'm assuming that's correct because it was someone who, it's an agent that told me this. So I'm assuming that's how it. That's correct.
I'm hoping it wasn't Richard Hughes because it would be wrong.
No, anyway, so that was the whole point. The original where they get the signing on fee from is because that's why. And obviously, you get a bigger one when you're a free agent, but that's because it's something that's happened since. It's a new thing. It's obviously.
I was just under the impression, say, I got 3 years left of a, I don't know, 100,000 a week contract. Liverpool, Barcelona want to buy me. they come in, offer me a 5-year contract, give me a signing on fee, and then Liverpool don't have to pay me nothing because
No, the deal is you've got a 3-year contract with them, so they have to, you have to negotiate. Now you might say, well, these are offering me more. Fuck it, I just want to go because I want the pay rise. You know what I mean? That's what
yeah,
usually
yeah,
happens.
yeah,
90, they just want to take the pay rise and go. You know what I mean? In a lot of
right.
sometimes they'll say, they just want to move on, so they want a fresh start. So they'll happily take the pay cut and not, forget about the leftover car, agree to rip it up. But obviously, some players come now,
Excuse me.
and you don't know these. This is why a lot of these transfers can be difficult because there's things like this that people don't think about that can be
Yeah,
involved in the negotiations. Which is why I've been saying I even did a big post on it today on the site, saying I don't think these negotiations should be left to sporting directors at all. I don't think they should be involved. It should be the business side, the club. Like in the lower leagues, you have the club CEO or the owner, and that will always be involved in it because they don't have the freedom of finances to trust a football man to do the business. Because they just aren't. They're not business people. I mean, Richard Hughes, they grow up as footballers. They live in this bubble, this world that's absolutely, they're insulated from everything. They don't see the real world. They don't live in it as a footballer. So then they're going and doing it. They've got no idea how the real world works. That's why you end up with these ridiculous fees for players that aren't worth it because they don't. It's not their money. They don't care. And they don't know about. They don't understand
you
money.
know what?
Like we have to for
You know,
scribbling saving.
if I was Liverpool, sorry mate, I didn't mean to
No, it's all right.
interject you. If I was Liverpool, if I was Mike Gordon, I'd go out there and
Mm.
move heaven and earth and go and get David Dean, the ex-Arsenal guy.
No, yeah, if he's willing, that's a
I
good
would go
shout.
and get him and just it would be the most supersonic move.
But we
You know what I mean?
tried
It
to
would
get
be
him
such a
originally when
yeah. I
FSG
remember. Yeah,
came in. They tried. He was advising them when they first came in. They
he's
tried to get
Arsenal
him. He
through and
wouldn't do.
through, right?
Yeah,
So,
he wouldn't do it. So I'm
but he
assuming that
got
the
burnt
same
by
instead.
he got burnt by Arsenal. So him
Yeah,
and Wenger got burnt. So I would do that. I mean, it would
if
be
he's willing, yeah, I'd agree.
yeah.
But
I
he's
think I think Barcola gets done, but I think we are going to get absolutely shafted because we're playing with consummate professionals who are learned, they're cerebral, they know what they're doing, they've got experience, they're calm and collected, they're cool, and we're not. We're the exact opposite. You know,
yeah,
we're playing
and
with the big. We're playing in a level that's, I think, beyond our bracket. You know.
they can afford to just reject anything. They
Absolutely,
don't
yeah,
need the
yeah.
money. They don't. The player isn't relevant. He's only a backup player to them now. He's on the outside. He's not really an issue one way or the other, is he?
Even
Uh,
though they have uh, uh, K, I'm not pronouncing his name correct. That
Kvaratskhelia,
exactly. They
mm,
got Dembele. They've got Akalush now. They've got
Gotch.
Gotts now.
Mhm.
They've got who else have they got? Mbai.
Yeah.
And they've got Barcola. They've got 6 wingers now. And there must be something else I'm missing. Somebody
Did you
else.
say Dembele?
I did say Dembele. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm sure they
Their
want to get
youth system's fantastic as well.
Douay. They've got
Doué.
Douay.
I thought you
So they've
said
got
him.
7. No, I didn't say.
Ah.
So they've got 7 play. They've got 7 wingers now,
Hmm.
right? I don't think they can afford to keep Barcola for long. I think they'd rather get rid of him, but they don't want to be seen like they've been shafted either. So I think it probably gets done around 150 million euros with add-ons.
Which is
But we're
insane
desperate.
for a player like that that's not actually shown himself capable of stepping up and running
You
being
know,
that man.
yeah, I hear what you're
Level.
saying. I get the pelters he's taking, but listen, Cantona wasn't that guy. Where he came with a look what happened with him. Salah was everybody was like,
Cantona. Do you know what? He was Leeds' best player by a mile before he joined Man United.
yeah, but he was nothing at Sheffield Wednesday. You know when
No,
they
wasn't it
bought
Sheffield
Sheffield
Wednesday?
Wednesday. Yeah, he was. They bought
No,
him
they
from
brought him over
Sheffield
from France.
Wednesday. He was at Sheffield Wednesday. Oh, well, no, Trevor Francis was going to buy him at Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, I was going to say
Very sure.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
he came over from France. Was it Marseille? I can't remember. I think it was Marseille.
That's-
But his problem was he had a lot of like off-field issues with the club rather than so they had to
Disciplinary
yeah
issues.
disciplinary
But
issues. That's what I
but
say. But
look at what happened with Salah. I mean, nobody gave him, including me. I was like so deflated when we spent 40 million on Salah. Became the third highest goal scorer in the club's history. Top five, arguably top
yeah,
five player in the Liverpool's.
I don't actually think I don't actually have a problem with the signing of Barkley on its own. The issue I have is that that money should have been being spent on a right winger. That's my problem with him. Is that he's a left winger, and we've already got
But
Gakpo, we've got Chiesa, we've got
they are no good. I mean,
yeah,
Gakpo's
but
not good.
well, Gakpo still Wirtz can play out there. There's
He's,
not an
he's useless out there. It's not his position.
It's
We
the
need.
position he played inside. The thing is, people forget that when he played for Alonso, he didn't play in the centre. He played an inside left role because they didn't play with wingers and they didn't play with fullbacks. But he had a wing back who was bombing on. But he was the widest left player they had other than the wing back.
But they
So he
played as
was
a
in that
team.
area.
They played as a team. We don't.
Yeah, but I'm saying what I mean is he does play on that left side, and Ekatike does, and you watch Isaac, 9 times out of 10, he pulls out to the left. The last
Ekatike is no more.
well, not
Isaac is
this
a
season, yeah, likely.
he's not gonna, even if he comes back, he's not gonna be
It's
I
a
don't think he'll
season
be
right
the same.
off, yeah, I
Yeah,
think.
exactly. Yeah.
If
I
he
th-
comes
I
back, it'll be just, a bonus, I think we've got to say this season.
I think he'll just be a body if he comes back. He's not gonna be he's not gonna have that pace, he's not gonna have that movement. I don't even think there's a school of thought to say, will he ever get that back? Because that's a horrific injury.
Mm.
Um, Isaac, you just don't know. He's always, you know, just injured. He's always a game away from an injury, and you don't know what you're going to get from him. We're going into this season. Who's deputising for Isaac?
Gakpo.
Gakpo?
That's why I'm saying you need to keep hold of Gakpo, because he's the first choice backup at forward, really. Unless you're looking at Kumas, Will Wright, I'm not sure.
No,
Will Wright.
it's
Kumas
just
doesn't look like a striker to me.
the level. The
I'm not
levels
sure he's a left winger either. Right, he's all right, but I don't like on the left.
the levels just keep dissipating. The lower you go. I mean, Gakpo is
Yeah,
it?
but
I mean,
if you're
God help
buying
us.
if you're buying a youngster like Barkler for 100 odd million, it just seems like you're not getting that much of an improvement to
We're
make it
getting
work for
lightning
the
pace.
squad. Yeah,
You're
but
getting lightning pace for
yeah, but we
starters.
should get. I get that, and I do agree that like we need. It's not. I'm not saying we don't know. What I'm saying is the money should have been. We should have been finding that right winger to do that job rather than finding the left,
But
because that's
it
where we
was.
desperately need it.
We went for Diomande for 100 million or
Yeah,
whatever it
but
was.
once that, that the minute that's fallen through, you should have been. They should have found somebody else lined up, and that's
Yeah,
my
no,
issue. Shouldn't it be this Barkler thing? It shouldn't matter one way or the other. That should be only a bonus thing. We don't. We're not desperate for a left winger. We're desperate for a right winger. So
I think
why
we're
is it not?
desperate. I think we're desperate to cover both wings. To be honest with you, I just don't think Gakpo's it. I know you don't think he's that bad, but the thing is,
I
I
don't think he's
don't.
that bad, but I don't think he works with our system. I don't think he works with. And the biggest issue I have with him is I watched him particularly. I've watched him a few times, and I hate the way he refuses. First off, hate the way he refuses to pass to Kirkes, no matter what. It's just like doesn't even know he exists. I do wonder if there's a personal issue there because he just refuses to pass to him,
I
no matter
don't
how
think
good a
so.
position. He
I just
acts
think.
like he doesn't exist,
I
but no
think
matter how
Slot.
many times.
I think it's either directive from Slot or Slot should be saying to him, "Look, what are you
Mm.
doing? He's making overlapping runs for you, left, right, and centre, and you can't even find him. That's
But
just a basic
mm,
elementary pass. Just play it on the outside."
but the worst thing is he's also forgotten the other. When he was in Holland, I watched him quite a bit before we signed him because someone I can't remember who else was looking at him. Somebody else was looking
United.
at.
He was going to
Was it United?
United.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And people ask me about him on there, and I thought, well, I haven't really watched it. So I spent a bit of time. Dutch football was being shown me at the time. I don't know if it still is. So I made a point of watching a lot of his games, just to see what he's like. And he was excellent. He would, from the left side, he was always at his best. He played right, centre, and left in the games I watched, a few of them. When he played in the centre on the right, he was abysmal, absolute dogma. But when he played in the left, what he was good at was doing exactly what we need now. Is he would bomb in behind. He would make runs. It wasn't on pace. It wasn't about pace. It was about timing the runs so that as the ball was being played, he was just breaking the line at the same time. So he'd make it perfect. His timing was fantastic in those games I watched. And then obviously the defenders are holding the line, so they then have to turn. And so he had acres of space to run into because he'd burst, broken the line so well. His timing was so good. They were having to react and catch him rather than being running with him, if you see what I mean. And so he was scoring goals for fun there because of he was excellent. But I watched him for us, and I've not seen that at all. And particularly, in particular, the Como friendly in particular, he was literally just stood in front of Wirtz. Wirtz gets the ball. There's acres of space in behind for him to run into. Wirtz got the ball, looking to play a pass for him. And what does he do? He just sort of walks straight in front, just sort of ambles in front of him. And you're thinking, Virts has got nothing to do because now they can all close him down, and that's all that happened is everyone closes him down, and he's got to go backwards with it because he's not been given an option. Nobody else is making a run, and Gakpo, the man who is in the best position to make the run, to make an easy pass, he's just got to slide the ball in behind, for Gakpo's run. Gakpo's just watching him, and you're thinking, this guy just doesn't. The mentality is the issue. He hasn't got it in the head. That's the problem.
I think the system's the issue as well.
No, because
Because
Iriola will be telling him to run in behind because that's why he likes pacey wingers. He wants them to run in behind. And Klopp must have been telling him to run in behind because he wanted him to replace Mane, who used to run in behind. That was Mane's big strength. And he brought in Gakpo because of his running in behind. That was what he was brought in to do. So the fact that he's not doing it shows that there's an issue with his mentality because he's not spotting that it's like he can't step up the level and figure out the timing against the better defenders because he's just sort of standing. He's lost his confidence in being able to do that. I think now, when he just wants to get the ball to feet and shoot. That's
it's
it.
just
The easy
exactly
option.
it's cut inside, shoot, rinse and repeat. That's all he
the
does.
easy option.
And like you say, it shows a lack of intelligence.
And yet,
I
he's not a stupid man either. That's the thing for a footballer, anyway.
well, no,
For a
that's
human
neither here
being,
and
he's
there.
not very
I'm
bright. But
no,
as for a footballer,
This is it's not for us to it's not for us to judge what he's like his IQ, but what it is to us to judge is his footballing IQ, which doesn't seem to be that high. I mean, I don't think, to be honest with you, he goes anywhere now because I don't think Spurs can afford to play. They bought everybody else apart from Gakpo. They've just paid, I don't know, money for Savinho and Marmoush. I think. I mean, they don't have they got enough money for Gakpo. I mean, will we get rid of Gakpo because we haven't got any players?
Yeah, we got no one to play up front if we get rid of him.
Yeah,
So he's got to stay.
yeah. What about Jones? We've talked about. I think Alex Mack stays. I don't see him going. I know you're. I mean, I'm ambivalent towards him at best, but you just don't like him at all as a player.
He's just not a good player. What he offers is he runs around a lot and he occasionally bursts onto, he occasionally scores a goal, but he doesn't add anything in actual quality in midfield because he runs around a lot, but he achieves nothing when he's doing it. He just runs around for the sake of it. When he was at Brighton, what his ability was is providing assists because he was playing in and around the box and slide. He can play and he can play the short slide passes. He's good at that, but that's an attacking midfield role. We don't play with an attacking midfielder. We play with two. We play with one behind two usually. Unless Iriol is going to change it and play with a 10, a proper out and out 10, which is what he is. But he's not a very good 10. Let's be honest. He's not. He's not a world class 10 or a top class 10 at all. but he's a decent 10. But playing defensively, he's got no clue.
I just don't. No,
No
defensively,
football intelligence at all.
no, exactly. Yeah. I just don't see how our midfield got ran through last season. I just don't see how, by not changing that midfield, how we're going to change the result.
I don't see that as an issue. The issue was always the way it was set up. It was the reason it got ran through is because nobody was there. They all ran forward because Slot was just telling them, no, you just we're going to have it. We're playing against a low block. It's going to be a low block, so you don't have to worry about defending. You can just go on the edge of the box and we'll try and break the low block that way by everybody crowding round the box and looking for knockdowns and stuff, and loose balls, things like that. And then, the moment the ball breaks, there's nobody in midfield. There's just a defence, and obviously Van Dijk is getting old, so he just ran away. And Konate's a lunatic and didn't have the sense, so he'd just jump in. And suddenly you've got a massive hole, and the only player trying to fill it was Konate, but he was going to miss anyway, or grab shirts, or rugby tackled him or something. So you've got this massive hole that the only player trying to fill it was Konate, while Van Dijk was busy running back towards our own box.
So what do you see
So
the difference for this season with the same midfield?
They've got to have at least one of them's got to stay back at all times and fill the space.
Gravy, is that going to be?
It should be, yeah, because that's what he did really well in this first, in that first season under Slot. That was what he did brilliantly. He won Young Player of the Year playing that way. I don't understand why he didn't want to. No,
I didn't see him do that pre-season.
No, to be fair, he only came back and played
he only played against Como, didn't he?
Yeah, he played 45 minutes in the game before because he was away at the World Cup. So it's hard to say whether. But that's all you need is that the players, even it doesn't have to be the same player. If you look at the way Bournemouth did it, they would, sometimes Scott would get forward, and Adams would just sit in, and sometimes if Adams got forward, Scott would just drop and hold. It's the way it always used to be. It was natural that you played two central midfielders who go forward and get back, and the idea was when one went forward, the other would hold. It was the same with fullbacks. When one went forward, the other would just sit and hold. So you had to take the back.
I suppose if we don't get a midfielder, they're all going to have to do their fair share of defending. So Slob's brilliant at it. Gravy's obviously, like you said, we won the title with him doing it. So it's just Macca now. He needs to put his effort in. They all need to share defensive duties, because it's no good one holding, because I don't think that's going to work. I think all three of them need to have two. When two, obviously Gravy holds when the other two are going forward, but when there's an attack, the other two have to put in a shift defensively. That's if we don't buy another player. So, listen, let's see. I mean that moves us on nicely. Moves us on to the Newcastle game, but it could be anything, man. We could lose, we could win. We could draw.
Just as much of a mess as we are, to be fair, if not more of a mess. Because where we're moaning about not buying players to strengthen, their problem is that they've almost lost everybody that mattered in their team.
But ours weren't good in the first place, so it's the same thing.
Enough to finish above Newcastle.
Yeah, but the thing,
and they were good enough to finish fourth, even under Slot with no fitness and no effort.
But that says a lot more. That's an indictment on the rest of the teams rather than how good or bad we are.
Yeah, but we're playing against one of the rest of the teams, so you can only, so that's what I'm saying. You're comparing us to Newcastle, which we've got to do because that's who we're playing, and we should have enough to beat them.
But it's opening game of the season. Fitness levels aren't there. They're at home. Anything could happen. The first 2, 3, 4, 5 games of the season are just bedding in. Really, I mean, this is carnival time. It's just nobody's really taking it seriously. People have just got back off their summer holidays. Players aren't fit. They were on the beach 3 weeks ago. So it's really anything can happen. And look, they've lost Gordon, Bruno. Who else have they lost? Tonali, right? Yeah. So they lost their midfield basically.
3. Yeah. Arsenal scored a third.
Who just scored?
Arsenal.
No. Odegaard. Who scored the other 2?
Havertz. Who's the other one? I can't remember who the other one was.
And they haven't stopped buying either. Did Conser play? He probably didn't play.
No,
Did
he's
Conser?
not playing.
No.
He's only just Mosquera started. I was surprised
Uh,
Bruno didn't start. I don't see him playing. I think it's Skelly, isn't it? Yeah, Lewis Skelly, I think.
they've got that. They've got the Premiership wrapped up already.
Should do. But,
Yeah, yeah.
oh,
Well,
he shanked
so
it.
and he still scored.
Yeah, the keeper would going the other way. Oh,
Are
terrible.
they home or away?
Home.
Oh, okay.
To be honest, that's not so bad because sometimes when a team gets off, the reigning champions get off to a good start. Quite often happens that they start to get a bit too arrogant. You know, they get like we did last season. You win in the games, but you're not play. You know, without playing particularly well. But you start to think, oh yeah, we've got this. We won it last season. We're on a right. You know, and then it falls away, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're right. Maybe. Let's see. I mean,
They're going to
the
be tough
season.
to stop, though.
Yeah, the season doesn't start till Sunday for me. I don't really. It doesn't really matter. But who's the starting lineup? I mean, that's
Newcastle,
another
you mean?
tough stuff. Yeah,
Oh,
against
yeah.
Newcastle. Yeah. I mean, who's the? I mean, I don't think Jackie starts. To be honest, he's only had 45 minutes of football in 6 months.
Yeah, but Araujo's only just joined, and he hasn't been playing, has he? Hasn't he been on the
That
sidelines at Barca?
it's but he's been is he's not been injured though, has he? He's
No, no,
played.
no, 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 no. So
He's been
that's why you'd think he'd probably be the one that will start.
yeah. I think he plays alongside Virgil.
But you
I
really
suppose
want
you.
Jackie to bed in as soon as possible, don't?
I think he'll be on the bench. I don't think he'll be. I think he'll be on the bench, and I think obviously you play Frimpong on the right.
Oh yeah, it's got to be Frimpong at right back
Yeah,
because who else can play there?
and then Kirkes on the left, and the midfield Maka, Slobs, and Gravy.
I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe
I
surely
mean,
it'd be Fitz, Slobs, and Gravenberg, the three.
yeah, but who it'll be Gakpo on the left, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Isaac in the middle.
and Engamoa looks to be starting on the right. By the looks of it, from the way he's been setting out in
I'm not so
friendlies.
sure they'll go with two wingers away from home on the first game of the season. I mean,
That's the way Iriola plays, and he doesn't
yeah,
care about whether he's away or at home. He'll go for it. He doesn't play to draw. He doesn't play not to win. He plays to win every game. He doesn't like to sit back and say, "Nah, you know what? We're not. We've had lost a lot of players. You must have watched the games last season for Bournemouth. I mean, he lost the whole defence, and he still went out there and had the team going at the opposition every game. And you're thinking, defence was abysmal as well. The players they brought in were awful. That's why they had to swap it around before they found a solution that worked. But he still, I'm going to go for it. You know what I mean? I want to win these games always.
I've I've clearly got Arnie Slot
Yeah,
PTSD. Yeah. But
yeah,
yeah, I mean that looks like a good enough. I mean, irrespective of who you put on the right, that looks like a good enough team to actually give Newcastle a game and possibly come back with 3 points. I mean, because God knows what team they're going to put out.
yeah. Their midfield. I mean, it's going to be.
It's depleted. Who will they play?
It's got to be Joe Linton.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Fair play for him for staying. Because
Well, no, only because nobody else wanted him. Who'd want him? He's a shit kicker. That's all he does. Even when he was a striker, that was all he did was kick people. He has got
and he went back
no
into midfield.
ability.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
got
yeah, yeah.
no ability whatsoever in reality.
I can't believe they've been asset stripped. Those guys.
Yeah.
I feel bad for them. I mean,
The Miley brothers, possibly. So one of them will be in there because one of them will probably end up at right back again, even though they're midfielders. Was it Lewis that was at right back last season? Brilliant players. They've still got Hall. They've managed to hold on to Hall.
yeah,
That was
back.
another good one. He was another one. Was a midfielder. Got pushed
Yeah.
out to left back because they needed a left back.
I cannot believe they've kept hold of Lewis Hall.
No, I thought he'd be gone as well.
I'd have him at Liverpool.
Oh, I
for
see.
Sure. Yeah, very, very good player.
Yeah.
Would you give us a score prediction?
I hate making predictions because there's such bad luck. So I ain't gonna do.
So go on, Tristan. You can do it.
Because I still think Liverpool got enough to win, but that might just be because I really like Iriola. I like him, so I really fancy us to do well under him. It might take a bit of time to really get going, but I do fancy us against Newcastle because they're in an absolute mess, and I'm not convinced they've chosen well with Yassel. From what I
Yeah.
saw of him, I wasn't impressed at all.
Is he Austrian or German?
Um, I'm not actually sure. Actually, I watched this team a couple of times in the well, more than a couple of like 3 or 4 times in the German in the Asian Champions League here. I mean, what's and they just look messy. They didn't look a well coached side. You know what I mean?
Is that because he didn't have the players, or that's because you think his
Well,
coaching?
that's the issue, isn't it? That's the question you always think. But it's just I was looking at them compared to the team that I was following that were Shabab Al Ali here, the local side here. They were coached by Paulo Sousa last couple of seasons, who's left
He
now.
was who did well, didn't he?
Yeah, he was brilliant, but you could see they were well coached. Even when they were like last season, they were missing half the squad through injury. In fact, more than half the squad. All the best striker, the best goal scorer, Sadar Azmoun, the Iranian scorer, and all that. They were missing all sorts of, half the forward line. They were playing midfielders in attack. They had no left backs, so they were playing right backs and centre backs at right back because they had to play right backs at left back. They had none left to play at right backs. They had to play centre. That was how bad, it's an absolute mess. Yet they always played the same way and they always played well. You know what I mean? You watched them and you thought, this is a well coached side. You can see they were organised, they knew what they were doing. They didn't always win, but you could see the way they played, you could see they knew what they were doing. But I watched Yassel's team and I looked at them and I thought they were just reliant on players having a bit more quality than the opposition most of the time. You know what I mean? Because obviously they'd spent a lot of money. They had top and match fixing, which helped them in the Champions League.
Where did Sosa go?
100% they fit.
Where did
I don't know.
Sosa go?
As far as I'm aware, he's still free agent. I don't know. I hope he's got because whoever's got it, I can't believe he's still available because he was brilliant. He really was. No, he's still without a club. I'm gutted because he's beloved by the fans here. They absolutely worship him. There's more chance for him than anybody else during the games.
Hey, Darwin Nunes, his loan fell through, right, to Trabzonspor.
Yeah, fell through. Yeah, but that's because Benzema became available,
Benzema,
which
yeah.
I think is a really poor decision by them because they dumped him as well, the Saudis, because he was so bad.
But hasn't he got? He wanted. I think he wanted 145 million to leave, and they wouldn't pay him out his contract. So something like that. But geez,
So it was
it's
a
crazy,
ridiculous
man.
amount. Yeah,
Good for him. Good money if you can get it.
but he's none. Yeah, I don't like him at all. He
But
was
he's
a
one of
good
the. He
player.
was one of the greatest players ever. You know, I can't. I think he was.
He was a
He's
very
been
good
so
player.
decorated,
Yeah,
decorated
but he was
player in
playing
that.
in front of a team that, it made him harder not to score than it did to
Still won
score.
all
To
those
be honest.
titles and still
But
won
yeah,
all
but
those
I'm not
Champions
real funny.
Leagues.
You could have
Can't
put,
take it
but you
away
could
from
have
him.
put Darwin Nunes up front for that team, and he would have said they would have done the same.
I don't know. I don't
I
know.
don't think it mattered. I think they were that good in Spain compared to. I mean, you only got to beat one team. Let's be honest. In Spain, so it's a bit like playing up front for PSG. You're going to score goals no matter who you are.
I don't know about that. I think Benzema was a top player.
He was
Anyway,
a very good player, but I don't think he was one of the best ever.
I
Not
think
even
that
close.
the reason I say that because he's so decorated. So, but
Yeah, but
then
it's a
again,
team.
you could
I
say,
just don't think you can go on trophies won when it's a team
yeah.
game.
But then you can
Because
also
it's
say
how good the team you're with. Nothing
the
else
flip
matters.
the flip side is Zidane's not a great manager, but he's won loads of titles. So
Yeah, that's
anyway,
yeah,
let's
that's about really odd. The titles the Champions Leagues he's won while being dreadful.
reputation alone.
Yeah,
That's just he's won that on respect and reputation because the players respected
yeah,
and
and played
him
for
so
him.
much. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Should we move on? Finish off with the consortium, the Jeff Bezos, Severin, and Batia consortium, mate.
yeah. What do you know about them, much?
All I know is that they bought around 38% of Liverpool, so that's not a miserly number.
Yeah, I'm hoping to find out more tomorrow because I'm hoping I'll get a chance to speak to the owner of the club here
Yeah,
at the match. Usually, he's in the coffee shop with us all before the
yeah,
game, like. So with a bit of luck, because he'll know, because he knows them. Obviously, he knows all
yeah,
these
yeah,
guys.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know who he is, don't you? Who I'm talking about, like which one? Yeah, so he'll know. He'll be able to give more detail of what's up. But until then, I mean, it's the business side of thing. I don't really know many business people. Let's be honest, it's not really my
Well, you have to
area.
walk out. You have to walk out your apartment and talk to people to know more people, don't you? So that's not
Yeah, that's a fair
that's no
point.
surprise, is it? Yeah, so it's a
Yeah.
mute point. But yeah, it it just now typifies and symbolizes the money in football. I didn't realize the advent of the Premier League would mushroom so big that this was what's going to, I mean, it's just sucked the life out the game. I mean, everybody thought the Premier League was really exciting,
Mm.
but look what's happened to football. You're
Yeah,
getting
it's
people
destroyed it.
£100 for a football jersey. You know, there's kids out there, there's families out there that can't afford that. You know,
Do you know what? Here, I get a free shirt with me season ticket. You look at the
I mean,
difference, and they've
that's
got nobody in the ground. Which you only
brilliant,
join a few thousand, but
brilliant.
you season ticket, you get a free shirt with it if you buy. Obviously it depends
Why
which.
wouldn't you do that in the rest of the world? Why you buy a season ticket for lots and lots of money? The least
Yeah,
you should do is get a reward for it.
yeah. I
You're
mean,
investing in the club.
usually you get like a discount in the club shop, and that's about it, isn't it? Really. But like that's to convince you to go and spend money in the shop because like most season ticket holders are going to the game every week. They're not going to the club shop very often, if at all.
I just, I honestly, I'm so ambivalent towards this. When was it? How long ago was it? Was it 16 years ago? Yesterday, I think it was that there was the courtroom drama with Liverpool. You know, the courtroom decision with Purslow was given the
God, is it that
Christian
long
Purslow.
ago
I think it was,
when it was
yeah.
all happening? Jeez.
Yeah, I was invested then because it really mattered.
Yeah.
You know,
God.
I mean, the Hicks and Gillette.
Oh God. Yeah. And
Obviously,
it was
you
all
remember.
going, and it was going. Because I remember, because I was, I remember because I was still in the UK then, and it
Yeah,
would be during the day you'd have it all going off in the courtrooms in the UK. And then in the evenings, like just as you go at night time, it'd start in in the courtrooms in Texas. And so it'd just be as I'm dozing off, suddenly news would come through from there, and I'd be like, oh. And so you'd look at this and go, oh, for fuck's sake, there's like 1,000 posts suddenly appear in a matter of minutes, because in those days we didn't have registration like it is now, where that was why we did it because it just got so insane. You would literally there was thousands of posts to edit
yeah.
at one. There was literally. I mean, at one point during this whole battle, I think it was 30,000 was the highest number we hit, and ended up Phil just
In
said,
a
"I'm just
day,
going to have to do."
in a day.
No, just there. They were picking up as we were editing. There was me. I think Billy was on there. There
Yeah,
was Morty, Shag, Ed too,
yeah.
obviously. And I think there was 7 of us. I think it was in total that were editing all at the same time, and the post was still going up in thousands at a time. They were that quick. They were coming in because we didn't have registration then, so people didn't have to register to make an account. So any time they could just post. You know what I mean? They'd just post, and it's. I got, and it ended up. Phil was looking at it and going, "We can't. There's no chance. There's no way of getting through this. It's going to take days." So he just started to. We just, random,
Yeah,
take random, just delete a
yeah,
load. What else can we
yeah,
do? We can't
yeah,
get through them.
yeah.
You
The
can't just
servers
post
probably
them up.
break
Yeah.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. The servers were going. Oh, it's insane. And that was day after day after day. And I was going like days without, and all I was getting was like 20-minute nap. And then it'd go insane again. And I'd get woken up by the phone going because someone
yeah.
phoning me up about it. And, you'd be back to it. And like all I was doing was napping. And that's how I ended up with the liver issue because I was drinking so many energy drinks to keep myself awake, to keep going, to try and keep up with it all. I ended up giving myself a liver problem.
If
Never
you
been
if you
back since.
if this is your segue to ask me for a liver, mate, you're barking up the
No, that's all fine now. Told you, COVID
tree.
sorted it of all things.
Uh,
But yeah,
irony, irony.
so
Yeah, so I don't know. So allegedly they bought up to about 38% of the club.
yeah,
That's a massive amount of
and
club you've just bought there
with a deal already in place to buy the rest.
in 12 months.
Yeah, but I
I think
mean,
it's
we always knew at some point FSG were gonna because they've been constantly trying to sell off little bits, and it was never gonna. It was never gonna be somebody coming in. It's never gonna. But keep the people that have the money to invest in Premier League clubs at this level anymore. They're never going to come in and just give somebody else control. They want control if they're coming in. So it was always going to end up with FSG either selling or
yeah. And
nothing would
Batia's got
happen.
a place, and Batia, their 38 million comes with Batia being on the board, which is, listen, he's had 19 years of footballing experience at QPR. That's 19 years more than Tom, John, and Mike did,
Mm.
so he's got some kind of footballing pedigree. You know what's
I mean, QPR, though, they've been a bit of a nothing under him now,
Yeah,
haven't
but they
they?
really liked him. They really
Did
liked him
they?
there,
Oh,
But
I don't.
listen, although I'm ambivalent towards this situation, what I'm really excited about is the growth potential of Liverpool in places like India, right, and America. And the thing is, obviously, there's um, uh, advantages in terms of because now, if I'm correct, the more revenue you bring in, the more money you can
Yeah,
spend on players, right?
yep.
So that's gonna happen,
Yeah,
right?
I just it's just for me that's like it's just so an interesting a part of football really.
Yeah,
I like the actual football and this kind of
yeah.
thing. I just think it's kind of it's
Well, it
having to
doesn't bother
deal
me.
with
It
this. It's
it doesn't
really
bother
feels a
me.
bit ugh.
It doesn't bother me whether we have Standard Chartered or Amazon or Mittel on the front of our shirts. If they're good custodians, because listen, let's face it, FSG haven't been bad.
Mm,
They've not been the greatest. They've not been bad. Made a few mistakes. They've rectified them, and now they've made their whatever amount of profit they made, obscene amount of profit.
gosh,
And let's face
billions.
it, like you said, they bought us for 300 million, and potentially might sell us for five. I mean, $8 billion. I don't know what the pound conversion is, but so
That
they've
must
done
be
what they've
that's over 5 million. That's got to be nearly six,
yeah,
or
yeah.
maybe
So
even six now because
yeah,
it's
that's a
gosh.
ridiculous amount of profit. And let's face it, they're business people. They don't care about if we win or lose. Do you think JW Henry's sitting there on a Saturday night thinking, "Oh, flip! I wish Isaac could have put that shot
Well,
away."
the one that did actually care is the one that left and created Redbeard anyway, and went and bought. Was it Milan?
Roma,
Roma. Was it
Roma.
Roma? Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was the
No,
one
AC
that got
Milan,
him
AC
into it.
Milan, AC
Yeah, was
Milan,
he?
AC
Yeah, he
Milan.
was
You're
the one
right.
that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
actually into football and convinced the others that this is what we should do, and brought them in to buy Liverpool.
But
So,
they only had a small share, didn't they?
hmm,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
only a tiny share.
the point I'm making, it doesn't matter who's on the shirt sponsorship or on the shirt or whatever. But the main thing is that we are the Liverpool brand, Liverpool Football Club are in more corners of the world. It's not a bad thing if most of India, because of the Mittal family name, become Liverpool supporters. What the hell is wrong with that?
Yeah, I don't mind that. The issue, I obviously, it doesn't matter who owns you now. So, like, all the issues you look at and go, well, I don't. There's not one of these billion-dollar billions of dollars companies and billionaires and that are actually good people. So you can't worry about that anymore. Unfortunately, you can't say, "Well, yeah, but they treat their staff poorly." Yes, they all do, and
They
this is
all
the
listen.
issue. You
This
can't.
is what,
You've just
in,
if you either walk away from football or you accept the
yeah.
fact that that these people are going to be involved.
You
Unfortunately.
can't make judgments, and you just can't, because these people have made money by stabbing people in the back.
Mm.
How many people are you going to hold up account? You'll be there forever. Just like you say, just concentrate on what happens on the pitch.
Yeah,
This
unfortunately,
is
it's you just have to separate this kind of
this is
thing.
above our pay grade. You know, this is above us. We're never going to be. They don't care what we think.
No, exactly. Yeah, we're irrelevant. Let's be honest. I mean, it
Yeah,
doesn't matter to them if we buy the shirts or complain about how much they cost and not buy them. It doesn't make any difference because somebody else will be buying them anyway.
absolutely. It's got such a football is such a
Oh,
massive, like, well, like you said, it doesn't matter if you and I stop supporting Liverpool tomorrow. There's a 30 million waiting to take our place.
mm. Yeah, we are suddenly, unless all fans stand together, it is irrelevant what we say
We're
or do
so
now.
we're so
Yeah.
inconsequential.
And that's why it's going to
Well,
be important to have people like Sons of Shankly actually work with the rest of the base now. If there's issues, they're going to
Spirit of
need.
Shankly or Sons of Shankly?
Sorry, what did I say? Sons of Shankly. Sorry,
That's a good.
that's
I like. That's a good name for. That's a great name for a Liverpool protest group. Sons of Shankly. I like that.
Wait, do you know where that came from? I was actually just editing just before. I've just realised why I've said that. It's because I was just editing, and one of the posters is called Son of Stroot or something on the
Oh,
Rangers
yeah.
site, and
Yeah.
it's like the sun was in my head, But yeah, they're going to need everyone to stand together anyway. If there's an issue like with the season ticket prices, or when COVID happened and they tried to lay off the staff without paying them and stuff like that. As long as we all stand together and make sure they realise when they do stuff like that, there's not a lot more we can
I
do, is there?
I don't know. I don't think they're going to be doing cost cutting with the money these people have. I don't think they're going to be.
Well, they tend to
I
be the
think that
tightest, though, don't they? That's the
I
thing.
don't know.
That's how they get their money, because they're tight as a duck's ass with their own money. They're happy to spend yours, but when it's their own, they don't tend to
Uh,
show it around.
let's keep a modicum of hope about this situation,
Mm.
right? And then let's criticize let's give them credit when credit's due, and criticize when it's due as well. Let's anyway. I think it's going to be 3-1 Liverpool Sunday,
Mm. Oh, did I
and
give her? I said no. I just said we'd win, didn't I? I think we'll win. Yeah.
you know you're going to get so many pelters if we lose.
I know. I hate doing predictions because I just feel like I'm gonna jinx it. If I say we'll lose and we lose, I feel like I've jinxed it because we've lost. If I say we win and we lose, I feel like I've jinxed it because because we've not won. You know what I mean? It's like, even though I know it's nothing to do with me making a prediction, you just feel that way.
All right, mate. Well, listen, let's. I'll
But
talk to
when
you
we're
Sunday.
lifting the title at the end of the season,
Yeah, let's hope
yeah,
so.
yeah,
when Minte's and when
yeah, we
Gakpo's
scores
holding
the
up the
winner. Yeah,
Premiership.
yeah.
Let's hope so. I'll take that.
And you'll
All right,
still
mate.
say he's shit, even if he was the top scorer, got a record for goals and assists in the season. You'd still be saying, yeah, but he could have got more.
Things in life that will never happen.
Yeah.
All right, mate. Nice talking to you. Talk
All
to you
right,
soon.
mate. Take care.
All right, bye. Bye bye.
Allez, 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 everyone. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Bye bye.